Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The inmates have taken over the asylum. Houston visited the Yankees, a bunch of sweeps. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented by DraftKings. A special episode. My good, lifelong best friend, JOMBOY, is out today. He's on the IL. Throat stuff. We're waiting for the reports from the doctor. So everyone tweet him and wish him well. We have brought in a replacement player.
Yes. Zero wins above replacement.
Chris Rose is joining us. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I love it. So, first of all, Jake, you're on the East Coast.
Yep.
Plouffe, you're on the West Coast. You live about 15 minutes from me. I check my phone because I'm such a crappy sleeper at like 6:15. You texted me at like 5:15 in the morning our time. You're like, yo, Big Daddy, you up? I'm like, God, I'm a terrible sleeper. I'm not even up. Like, what the heck? I was like, oh, my God, what in the world happened? And you guys are like, well, Jimmy's sick. He can't talk. So they're going to need your fat ass in the seat today. Any chance you could do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm a loser. I'm not doing anything else. I'm in.
I love a fat ass. That's what I'm known for.
It's no secret.
Early in the app. Okay. Trev, how are you, buddy?
Let me get these hands through real quick.
Get your hands through.
No, I'm excited to have you. I mean, you look younger than Jimmy, and you're not younger
definitely
than Jimmy. So this is I think like the hot boyness kind of that rating Rose. Rose
ratings
this
rose.
episode, but I'm excited to talk some ball. We had some good baseball going. I think we have a lot of topics to talk about. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to them all, but we'll try, man. We'll do our best today. I'm just gonna get my hands through all episode, just like right there,
barrel to the ball.
Good. All right, Jake, lead us off. What do we got going, man?
Holy smokes. I got one thing before we get going. I mentioned this to Rosie. I've got one serious and nice thing, and then I've got one thing to bring myself back down. Boys, I'm excited to do this with you, you know. A lot of days this is me and my buddies that have done something, and now Trevor Plouffe, the guy we used to add and drop in our fantasy baseball league, and Chris Rose, the guy who used to tell us to add and drop him, to be doing it with you guys. Very stoked and appreciative to do that. The high school boy in me is very excited. Follow up to that, the high school boy in me, my sweet Jessica is out of town. I ordered quantity 2 buy one get one meals last night, so I ordered 4 meals to get me through the weekend. And I was gonna bring one in for lunch, but I was so lazy, I actually just ate the lunch after breakfast instead of bringing it in. So I thought that'd be a nice balance of excitement and purity, and then whatever that was at the end. So thank you.
Wait a second. How old are you? 32?
31.
31. You're not married yet.
No.
You don't have any kids. So
no kids.
So there's zero excuse for you to not be cooking at this point.
Oh, big time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
As long as we got that out on the table.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself. Get outside of your comfort zone. Start trying something. I talked to Plouffe about how I cooked Michelle taco pizza on our first date, and now she has not been able to leave my side for 26 years.
Wow.
Right, Michelle? Was the taco pizza that won you over? Did the taco pizza win you over, or was it something else?
She left 2 hours ago.
Oh, my stir fry was pretty good.
Okay.
Giddy up.
I just want to be clear. You just, instead of bringing your lunch in, you decided to eat it in the morning.
Yeah, so I ate breakfast, showered. We talked about Jimmy being sick, and then I just decided to eat the lunch instead of bringing it in. So
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm glad you're like exploring new ways to ingest your food throughout the day.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Something like that. Well, Chris, you said try new things. How about I do the one thing I've been into since I was a little kid? Let's talk some baseball, and I will bat lead off with the NL recap.
Do you want to do the patrons?
Patrons, I don't have the patrons doc updated, so we'll just give all the patrons a shout out. Everyone who's a Patreon, thank you. Go check it out.
You guys.
If you're a new one, we'll get you next step.
We'll get you next week. The chat is live right now. We appreciate everyone that's here.
What's up, chat?
Let's do it. We don't have the Mikey Rotuno beats?
We do not, because I didn't get the Google Drive permissions from him because he didn't know I was receiving it today.
Okay.
So that happens sometimes. If you want the burn music, I can give you that, but that feels...
No, yeah, that feels wrong. That feels dirty. I'll just burn through the NL recap, and I'll start with producer BBD's Phillies. They swept the Brew Crew. The Brew Crew that had been kind of hot to trot to start this season. They lose 4 games to the Phils. The Phillies starting pitcher, 25.1 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. They look good. The Brew Crew are starting to feel the injury bug big time. Yelich goes back to the IL after only 1 day back. That flips the Brewers' season on their heads a little bit. The Cards jump them this week in the NL Central. Formerly my Colorado Rockies, they take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. They played a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games. They split that. Giants took the first one, Rockies took the second, and then the Rockies take the third game. John Gray versus Webb. How about that? The Giants hitters, they raked 297, 402, 593 slash line despite losing 2 out of 3 games. And Gossman and Cueto expected to return to the NL leading San Francisco Giants this weekend. So even though they lose the set, they've got some new good news on the horizon. The Cubbies, a series that I was all hyped up about. We said maybe they'll start trading guys away if the big bad Dodgers come into the town. The Cubs sweep the Dodgers. Holy smoke, the hidden story in baseball right now. The Dodgers have been getting beat up on. 7-1, 4-3, 6-5 Cubbies. Bodie and Rizzo with walk-off singles. Hendricks with a good start in the middle there, and they got the Dodgers also with the losing. They get the Dustin May official Tommy John surgery next Tuesday. That stinks. We don't like that. Padres take 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Dinelson Lamet returns for San Diego. How about that? I didn't realize that. He goes 2 innings, but that's all they were expecting. Okay, that could help them out as this season goes. Each Pirates starting pitcher goes at least 5 innings pitched with 2 earned runs or fewer, but that's not enough as the Pods take 2 out of 3 in a low-scoring series. Cardinals split a series with the Mets. Cardinals starting pitchers, they've been struggling a little bit. 5.5 ERA, nobody gets 6 innings. Lindor, holy smokes, 0 for 26. Frankie, my God, he wants to go back to Chris Rose's Cleveland right about now. And DeGrom got scratched for the Mets. So we don't like that, but they split the series there. My Diamondbacks, as I fully anoint them as my team, we're friends on social media. They get a little bit of the Jake curse to them. Swept by the Fish with Arms in Miami. Alcantara, Detweiler, and Lopez. How about it? 0.69 ERA from the starting pitchers, a 0.64 from the relievers for the Marlins. They dropped it. I'm sorry, D-backs. I take full responsibility for that. In the last NL on NL matchup, the Nationals and the Braves. The Braves sweep them. How about it? Is it about time for Atlanta to get hot? We've been waiting. Yanoa, oh my God, this guy won't stop at the dish. That's pretty wild. And the Braves starting pitchers had a good series themselves. So Braves, be a good time to get hot for them. And my Nationals, I just got excited about them too, as they got to 500 and then they lose 3 straight. So that is the NL recap. Chris Rose, our guest for the day. What jumps out for you for the National League matchups?
I thought the Cubs-Dodgers series was really interesting on several levels. First of all, for the champs, they've got a lot of injury issues, a ton, and it's really affected their bullpen in particular. They've got guys that are in high-leverage situations that shouldn't be in high-leverage situations right now. And the guys that are experienced in that area, Kenley Jansen, for example, could have slammed the door shut in one of those games, did not. And so they're going to have to kind of fight their way through that over the next several weeks until Gonsolin gets back, until Price gets back. You know, Knebel got put on the 60 days, so that's going to hurt them. The Dustin May injury, Plouffe and I talked about this earlier in the week on our Instagram live show. that the Dustin May injury might not hurt them May through September, but it could play a factor in them trying to successfully defend their crown in October. Yeah. I just think that their ability to move starters to the bullpen and get critical outs in big-time situations, that could be hampered by losing a guy like Dustin May for the year. On the other side of it, with the Cubs, I am not buying them. I am not buying the Chicago Cubs this year. I think there's still going to be, you mentioned during your recap, well, at the beginning of that series, do we wonder whether or not they're going to be sellers? Yes, and they should be sellers. This was their last hurrah last year, in my opinion. You saw it start to break apart by getting rid of guys like Schwarber, who at one point seemed untouchable with that administration because he was a top 5 pick and such a big-time leader in that clubhouse. Well, they let him go. And they're going to trade Chris Bryant this year. He will not be a Chicago Cub. The best thing to have happen for them is to have him continue to smack the baseball out of the yard, because they're going to get a huge time return on him. He will not be a Cub after July 31st.
Ooh. Okay. I agree with you. We talked about this a bunch. I said he's going to the Royals. That's where I have him scheduled to go, which I think is an interesting spot for him. I love the Phillies, man. Coming off that crazy Mets series, they got all fired up, and they have to take on the Brew Crew, who obviously is a great team. Yeah, they're dealing with some injuries, but to go and sweep them in a 4-game set, sweeping somebody in a 4-game set is very, very tough. Right. Phillies do it. How do their infield do, BBD? Just curious.
Phillies infield.
Good as always.
Yes.
Good as always. They're the best. The Phillies infield rocks. They did it, and you know what, man? I'm happy for the guys there because I like the way they play baseball. They're fiery. When you watch them play, it's a good time. Like, you're not going to be disappointed in like the effort that goes on in Philadelphia, and that's fun to watch.
Do you trust them, Plouffe?
I do. I said from the beginning of the offseason, like, this is a team that has all the pieces in place. They needed to shore up the bullpen. They brought some guys in to do that. This is a team that is a World Series contender. Like, they have the people and the depth to be a team that can make a run in the postseason. So they need to get there, and the NL East is kind of a weird thing right now, but if they get to the playoffs, really, I don't think there's many people that are going to want to face them.
I don't know. I need to know. I figure out teams by the middle of June. Okay? Sure. So I still need another 5 weeks, in my opinion, to figure out what the Phillies are. They don't scare me. You said they scare you. They don't scare me pitching-wise. They just don't. Maybe Zach Wheeler has gone to a different level because he has pitched very well. But I'm just telling you that, and Nola's great, but there's other rotations I would take in the National League over them. And the bullpen still, although improved, I mean, it had to be. It was the worst we'd seen in a century. They've still got holes. And if you look at that NL East, I have not figured it out. Do you know that there's only one team in that division that has a positive run differential? Do you know who it is?
Fish with arms, right? Baby.
It's the Marlins. They're plus 20. Everybody else is negative and bad negative. Like -8 is the next closest. So, some people aren't big into run differential. I pay attention to it. I don't know. I need another 5 weeks on the Phils.
Look, sorry. I just think you get there, you need 3 starters. Okay, you need 3 starters in the playoffs, and then you need your bullpen to come up big. You have to have some guys that can eat some innings when needed. Wheeler, it's Nola number 1, then Wheeler, and then Eflin has kind of found that level that they wanted him to take a step up. He's taken the step up. And so I think if you can put those 3 guys, are they going to are they the names going up against other NL rotations? No. But I don't think a lot of teams want to face those guys come the playoffs either. So I think they're not the number 1 contenders. They're not the number 2 contenders, but they're definitely in the talk for a team that can make a run in the postseason.
So are they your favorite in that division, Jake?
What I'd say for the regular season, I think the Phillies lineup in any regular season series, they can give you trouble. There's a lot of veterans. There's a lot of guys you can buy into. Kind of what Trev was leaning into at the end there. If they find a way into the playoffs and you have to do Nola Wheeler for 4 out of 5 games, or if you have to do Nola Wheeler for 4 out of 7 games, that's kind of their recipe. And then if you get a little Eflin or something like that, the NL East, man, I'm already bought in that it's going to be like this all year. I think if you have a good homestand, you're going to jump 2 teams. You have a bad road trip, you're going to drop 2 teams. I just think they're going to – how do you separate these teams besides the Braves, who everyone's been waiting for, and maybe was this the series that gets them hot? Because they're the team, when you do put all of these on paper, they're a hair flip above the competition.
Ooh, a Dansby Swanson hair flip?
Ooh, like that.
Chris, just so you know, I have the Braves over the Houston Astros. That's my preseason pick for the World Series.
Okay. Wow.
So,
you went Astros.
Houston came out hot, then has slowed down a little bit. Now they're playing decent, and the Braves came out atrociously, but they're picking it up. So, like you said, the standings don't mean shit until June, maybe even July.
But it's not even so much the standings. I just need to figure out the personality of a team, because you can play poorly in a 6-month season for a month and still be okay.
Twins fans are happy to hear that.
Yeah, well, they better be. Holy smokes, are they dreadful?
What else we got?
I've got a fun fact on the Minnesota Twins when we get to the AL.
Oh, stop. Is
saving.
It fun or is it?
No, it's you're gonna like it, Trev. I swear. The only other big team I think we need to check off, because the NL East is the NL East. Good for the Marlins. It's the team the Mets split with, the Cardinals. The Cardinals have jumped the Brew Crew. And I don't know. I mean, I live on the Twitter internet. I haven't seen the Cardinals hype train leaving the station, but I think by the start of this season, they were the NL Central favorite after the Arenado trade.
Yes.
I mean, are we drinking Cardinals Kool-Aid?
I have from the beginning. I picked them to win the division. You know, the Brewers came out and Corbin Burns has established himself, and their pitching, who we got told the pitching was going to be just fine, but on paper we're like, hey, we need to see it. Well, we've seen it. It's pretty damn good. But I think the Cardinals are the most well-rounded team. Reyes has been great, and you need somebody like that to close out games. They got him. They're still my favorite to win the Central, for sure.
I had Milwaukee. I will stick with them. I think they battled a few demons even in the first 5 weeks. They've got one extra base hit, I think, from Christian Yelich so far this year.
Yeah.
The back sort of situation, if that is a real issue for him, hamstring back sort of stuff, that could be a thing that plagues him all year. That worries me. With the Cardinals, so they're fascinating, right? They got basically zero outfield production at times. Goldschmidt has not done anything for the most part through 5 weeks. And yes, Reyes has pitched well, but if you look at his strikeout to walk ratio, it's almost 1-to-1. And that always scares the bejesus out of me. If I'm giving a ball to a guy in the 9th inning and you're a 1-to-1 ratio on that is always a problem. So it hasn't come back and bit him, because I think he's actually thrown the most innings in baseball without allowing a run yet, or an earned run. And so, he's figured his way out of troublesome situations. But I think it's those two teams. I think the Cubs are third-ish, and I think the Reds are fourth. And the Pirates are mighty. They've actually fought harder than I thought they would. I'll give the Pirates credit.
Yeah, me and Jake picked them to go over their projected win total. So we've been on the Pirates train.
40?
It was 56 or something ridiculous 56. Like that.
I'll
say this about the Cardinals. If Carlos Martinez can put it together like he did last start and be a guy, they need that. Like, Jack's been doing his thing. Wainwright's been, kind of probably what they expected from Wainwright. And, trying to eat innings and just keep them in ball games. But if Martinez, they need another dominant guy in their starting rotation. And Martinez can be that. Just got to see it over the course of 162.
Right, but that's the thing. Do you trust him? I mean, I think he's a 2-time All-Star, and you were like, oh my God, when that guy was a fire-breathing dragon and wearing his hair different colors every start, you were like, I can get on board this. And then he just kind of lost it, and then he went bullpen and get injured, and you didn't know what he was. So I don't know what he is still.
Yeah, the Cardinals, man, they find a way. Like, Martinez's season right now is looking okay. Jack Flaherty, we all obviously believe in him. Waino's got the highest ERA on the staff right now, and you still believe he's going to give you an effort. Gant has been really good for them. Kim has been really good for him. Like, that's, I feel like, Chris, you say you find out what a team is in June. When we look at these Cardinals teams, it's like, well, the pitching, they got guys at the back end. They've got a starting pitcher that gives you an effort, and Goldschmidt and Arenado. That might be enough to get them through the NL Central. We'll see. And the Brewers, man, God, Yelly's been hurt. Hura got sent down. Like, those were supposed to be the middle of their lineup. Trev, why don't you take us to the American League? But before we go to the American League, we'll talk about something both of you guys know pretty well. How about Dugout Mugs? Dugout Mugs. Mother's Day, it's Sunday. If you haven't gotten something yet, what are you doing, guys? Jake looks in the mirror. Dugout Mugs, they are the best. All three of us are holding them right now. If you haven't seen them, they are baseball bats that hold liquid. It's the dream. They've got the wine mug. They've got the knob shot. Dugout Mugs, and right now they're giving you 35% off with code JOMBOY.
Ooh.
35% off. That's a real one. Yeah, that's not a 3% off. That's 35% off. Dugoutmugs.com. Promo code JOMBOY. They're the perfect gift. When you hold one in your hand, it's the mix of holding a baseball bat and a beer, kind of. So they can take that if they want. 35% off, code JOMBOY, Dugout Mugs. They're the best. They've been with us for a while, and we appreciate them.
Perfect end of season award, a little graduation gift or something. Yeah. Those are coming fast.
Ooh. Wow. Producer BBD on the gift scene.
Yeah. BBD. I mean, you might be late for Mother's Day. You can get a jump on Father's Day now.
Yeah.
Can you even drink a beer out of it yet, BBD?
Debatably.
But
fine beer.
Give him a White Claw and watch out.
He's like, maybe not. Watch out. If you go to Italy, they drink from when they're like 12 years old.
These young guys are clawed
out of the womb.
They're Spike Seltzer guys, man. We
soft.
It's a little bit. Well, Trevor, you're the king of soft. Why don't you tell us?
I've been soft my entire life. That's who I am. That's what I'm about.
Everyone put your arms down.
I'm sensitive.
Trevor, can you tell us?
I love all you.
Can you tell us what happened in the American League? I know about one series, but that's about it.
All right. We'll start out with the Astros visiting New York.
What the hell happened?
That's showbiz. All right, we got him back. Trev?
What is happening? What is going on? That's twice now.
What are you doing?
Right before you got into it, you disappeared. Are you back?
It's not on my end. I'm back. Let me start again.
Start again.
The Astros go to New York, and I think the series went as good as any Yankee fan could have wanted. And I think even Astros fans got a little out of it. Yankees take 2 out of 3. They win the first 2 games. Stanton is on another level right now. Then Altuve with the go-ahead 3-run home run in the 8th inning of Game 3 to put the Astros up, and then they ran away with it. A couple notes. Urshela left Thursday's game. We'll get an MRI on the knee. And Voit, saw him in the rehab games. He's been crushing the ball down there in Scranton. Me and him got a little bit of something in common. I used to crush the ball down in Scranton. Also, Odor, the life and the heartbeat of the organization, had to go on the DL. We'll see how that affects the Yankees. They take 2 out of 3. Moving on to Seattle, the Orioles go in and they take 2 out of 3. Means, obviously, with a no-hitter in Game 3, only 1 runner reached on base because it was a passed ball on a strike 3. That was insane. But the Orioles starting pitchers, even besides Means, are really good. A .92 ERA, only 2 earned runs in 19 innings pitched. And my guy, Pat Valaika, stays hot, 5 for 9 with a home run. You guys know my Pat Valaika story. I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
It's not going well in Minnesota. Let me tell you that much. The Rangers went into Minneapolis, and they took 3 of 4 from my Twinkies. The relievers for the Rangers were really good, posting a 1.8 ERA in 15 innings. Gallo hit 2 home runs because Gallo hits 2 home runs every series. He's the man. Twins hitters really struggled. And a big story out of there, Buxton had to leave the game on Thursday with a hip strain. And my guy, Alex Kirilloff and Arias, that's Jake's guy, also got placed on the IL. It is not a good time to be a Twins fan. Tigers go into Boston. The Red Sox end up taking 2 out of 3. My guy, full pension, Piv starts Game 1. The Red Sox bats come alive. 10 of 12 players to appear in the series recorded 3+ hits. That's awesome. But the starting pitchers did struggle for the Red Sox, posting a combined 6.6 ERA. Ottavino, old friend of the Yankees, pitched a scoreless inning in each game and recorded his first save. Red Sox take 2 of 3 because the Tigers are not a real Major League Baseball team. They're fake. We made them up. Chris Rose's Indians go into Kansas City, and what do, Chris? They sweep them. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
The Mets dominate. 6 players recorded multiple RBIs, and 5 players hit home runs. Josh Naylor, 2 homers and 6 RBIs in the series. Duffy he gets hit for the first time. 3 runs and 5 2/3 innings pitched. It's his first time giving up multiple earned runs in a start this season. Savale, Matone, Bieber, McKenzie get it done for the Indians. They sweep a 4-game set. This was an awesome series. Tampa Bay goes into Anaheim, and what do? They also sweep on the road. Every Rays player to record an at-bat gets a hit. 8 players record multiple RBIs. Glasnow, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, is the only Rays starter to surrender a run. That's how you do it. And the Sound of Music, your guy, Austin Meadows, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs in games 2. Obviously, the big story here, we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth. Albert Pujols gets released from the Angels. My goodness. Ohtani also did some wacky stuff there. We'll talk about that more. And the last series in the AL, Toronto going into Oakland, an aesthetically pleasing uniform battle. I like the blue and the green. You know that. They split the series. The Blue Jays starting pitcher struggle. Shocker. We all knew that was going to happen. They combined for a 7.2 ERA. All of them give up at least 3 earned runs, but the bullpen does its job. 1 earned run in 14 innings pitched. Springer has to go back on the 10-day IL. Also, Merriweather transferred to the 60-day IL. He was our guy.
Yeah.
5 Blue Jays record 5+ hits in the series. Grichuk, Grichuk, 7 RBIs. Hernandez with 6 RBIs. They split the series, and that's what happened in the American League.
Baseball. I like reading Trevor Plouffe's stuff. He's got a lot of good takes.
Beautiful.
Let's
Beautiful,
talk.
Trevor.
What do you guys got?
Yeah,
Chris?
Plouffe, you were worried about getting through that American League rundown. I thought you did great.
Crushed it.
I would at
Thank you.
least give it a C+.
Thank you.
I thought it was really, really well done. So
Started out in the void, and I made my way back, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to start with the Pujols? Do you guys want to talk him? Or
We just talked about it. We got our thoughts out on the IG Live. I want to hear our boy Talkin Jake.
So this will get a laugh out of both of you. You got to consider when a young man enjoys the game of baseball and is playing the game of baseball. Albert Pujols was the best hitter I ever saw as a young kid. So young Jake told himself, you know what I should do? Copy Albert Pujols' stance.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what happened to young Jake? I just started hitting the weakest ground balls to third base because I was standing up like just too high for how I should be standing. Man, and I dug into the stats yesterday because, again, there's a generation, like a lot of our fans that are probably watching this and live right now don't know the Albert Pujols that was the dude. Like, I almost put some tweets out there that I knew were going to get bad feedback, like comparing his numbers to Trout and stuff like that. I figured that wasn't worth it. I'll just keep it on Albert. I mean, arguably the best right-handed hitter ever. We don't need to do that right now. And yeah, we were at Yankee Stadium when the news broke. And I think the thing that went through our heads was Albert must clearly want to play because otherwise they would have let him retire and handle this differently. So I'm excited to see what the next move is. I wonder if he's in a rush. I mean, he still kind of cranks against lefties, right? So if there's a National League team where he could get some platoon at-bats or something, or if there's I don't know.
Jake.
What are you thinking?
If you're a National League team, why do you want a guy who can't run eat up a spot on your team?
Playoff
Why
bench.
in the world would you do it?
Playoff bench.
He doesn't want to be on the
bench.
bench. He doesn't want to be on the bench.
May 7th.
Who's going to
wants
start
to
him,
do
though?
that?
Let me tell you, I gave a team on
Okay.
the IG Live. I want you to
Okay.
try to guess. It's an
Yes.
AL team, and I think it's a
It was
really
very
good
good.
fit, and I think it might happen.
Chicago
was
White
great.
Sox. Tony La Russa.
No.
Too obvious.
What do you got? I don't know.
I thought to myself, what team would want a guy like Albert? His numbers aren't there. He's not necessarily going to help you win ball games with his play, but he can help you mentor kids. So I said, look, there's a team there that's not really trying. They got some young guys, a lot of early draft picks in their organization. The Baltimore Orioles could use Albert Pujols. Get him over there. Start him 5 days a week. DH, first base, wherever you need to get him at bats, and let him mentor some of your young guys. Let him teach those kids about his approach, how to be a big leaguer, Albert Pujols, you said it. He was the best hitter you ever saw. You don't think that's valuable to an organization? His play is not valuable, but Albert himself is valuable. Orioles, do it. Let him clear waivers, and just give him the minimum. Angels are paying everything.
Right.
How could you not do that?
I think it's a good call. The more I thought about it, because I thought I couldn't find a place for him. Everybody's like, yeah, LaRusso will take him. No. Why are you going to take at-bats away from a kid like Andrew Vaughn? Are you going to play him over Jose Abreu at first? No. You don't need him clogging up the bases in meaningful baseball. I'd rather have Liam Hendricks run the bases than Albert Pujols at this point in his career. So it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense for a contending team. And I'm not trying to trash the guy, because if you do, it's important to remind people how good he was. All we have is the stain of the last decade, 10 years, $240 million. That's all you remember from Anaheim, because there were this many playoff wins out there after he joined them. The first 11 years of his career in St. Louis, he finished in the top 5 of the MVP voting 10 times. The 1 year he didn't, he finished 9th when he had 71 extra base hits and a 997 OPS. Somehow that crappy year got him a 9th place finish in the MVP voting.
Yeah.
Most people would kill for that year as a career year. He finished 9th, which was his worst year in St. Louis. So, with all that being said, I think Baltimore's fine. I think a young place like that.
And people are saying, what about Ryan Mountcastle? What about Trey Mancini? Ryan Mountcastle is a young guy. He doesn't need to be pigeonholed into DH and first base. And I don't know if you guys have seen what he's been doing this year. It's not good. He's got a 48 OPS plus, a negative .9 WAR. He could use some teaching.
But I mean,
bring Pujols over to help the guy.
Do you guys really think Albert wants to do that?
He wants to play every day, and there's not going to be many options for him.
God.
Now, that's the question. Do you think and we talked about this on Instagram Live, the hardest thing to do for an entire sports organization and players individually is self-evaluate, because you think you're here when really you're here, okay? Do you think he has the ability to say, I'm not an everyday player on a playoff contending team, Blue?
He knows that. He knows that.
You think he does?
I think he wants to play so he can get some numbers up. He's so close to
what number?
He's not getting any numbers up.
Is he playing for? He's not going to get to 700 homers. He's at 667. He's not going to get to 3,500 hits. So what is he playing for? He's 14th all-time hits. And
isn't he 2 hits away from being number 1 ever first baseman hits? He just dipped under 100 WAR. I don't know if these things mean anything to him, but he clearly still wants to play. That's what everyone is saying. He wants to start. The Angels would have kept him on the bench. They got to pay him anyway, but he didn't want to do that. So I'm just offering a scenario where he can go and play every day. It's the Baltimore Orioles.
So I said NL, and you both laughed at me. You called me short, chunky, all of that.
Totally. No, I didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
That was my bad. That was just what I heard. There was a guy who ended up on a National League team last year that was a joke around baseball as a bench player for one of the best
Pablo
National League
Sandoval.
Why couldn't Albert Pujols go his last full season, 2019? The last couple years have been what they have been. In 2019, Albert Pujols had an OPS in the 800s versus lefties. Get a couple lefty starts at first base, be a pinch hitter off the bench, and do the same thing you guys are talking about. I mean, Albert Pujols playing every day. I don't want to sound like an obnoxious Yankees fan right now, but for this Orioles team, I don't know. Doesn't that seem like one of those sad quarterback pictures that you see where it's like, oh, can you believe he finished his career here? Everyone forgets about that. Like, I think he could still end up, fifth man on an NL bench in a playoff for one of those lefty 3-batter minimums. I don't know.
It's a tough situation. Let's just leave it at that. This is...
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable to talk about because everybody in baseball has so much respect for Albert. We talked about it earlier today, Chris. What he does off the field is just as important as what he's brought to the field. Like, this guy is, he's a made man in baseball. He's an all-time great. So, again, if I am in Baltimore's front office, I'm like, hey, let's go do this. Let's get some mentorship for our young guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really good fit for him.
I just don't rattle through the teams in the National League where it would make sense. Like, it's not the Mets. We know that. They have enough trouble fielding the ball and running the bases as is, right?
Yeah.
It's not the Phillies. He's not going to get any at-bats there. It's not Atlanta. Washington? No, they just traded for Josh Bell. That's not happening. The Marlins? No. Jesus Aguilar? It's not, go through the teams, and it just doesn't make sense.
But I think about the role here. We said the same thing about Sandoval last year. Why is this guy on the Atlanta Braves to take one at bat? That's all he was doing. I think Pujols could find himself in that.
Because he was comfortable with that.
Yeah,
he knew
that's
where
true.
It goes back to what
That's
I was saying is being able to evaluate where you are in your career, and I don't care whether it's sports or not. Some sort of performance-based. Genre, and that's what this is.
Do you know where I want him to go?
Okay.
Baltimore, you told me.
Well, no, that's where I think he's gonna go. There's two teams that I think would just make people throw up.
Okay.
And I'm rooting for some chaos right now. One, obviously, it's an easy one. The Chicago Cubs would be really fun. To have Cardinals fans see him in a Cubs uniform would be awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
But number two. And there's no room for him here either, but at least it's an American League team. If he went to the Astros, that would be awesome too. So both those two teams, that would be so fun to see.
Do you think he would go to try to find the baseball he hit off of Brad Lidge?
It's evaporated.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
You're telling me.
What else we got?
Do we have anything else?
Yeah, we got to
talk
jump
about
around. There's another real hot one. Let's do a more fun, quick hitter in between. Chris Rose, your Cleveland Indians. Where are you at, man?
What?
I mean, all these young pitchers, and if they get enough offense, always seems to be the formula. Are they fun? Catch me up on Cleveland.
No, they're not fun. They're not fun for Indians fans to watch because their offense is not very good. It's a bottom six offense for the most part. Here's where they have been amazing is the bullpen. And I know bullpens don't sell tickets. They're not sexy. We don't talk about them very often. But the quartet of Whitgren, Shaw, who came back to Cleveland, on a non-guaranteed contract. By the way, he's got the worst facial hair going in baseball. It looks like he taped a bunch of Brillo pads.
He's in my book. Whatever.
Whatever. Okay, good.
Ooh.
Way to work it. I'm going to guess Cutter, 94.
Yeah, 3-1, walk-off Johnny. Whatever. Just keep saying what you were saying. I don't want to talk about myself.
Okay, bro.
No big deal.
Wow.
All right.
Keep going.
You made me lose count. Wild thing, Karinchak, who's a nutball. And then Clase has been amazing.
Gosh, that guy is disgusting.
Been unbelievable. Who would have ever thunk that the Indians trading Corey Kluber that we'd be laughing at the deal for Indians fans? We'd be like, we got Clase and you guys got one inning of Corey Kluber? That's amazing. We'll take it. So the bullpen can cure a lot of ills. It can be a great concealer of blemishes. It's still, in my opinion, an 83-win team tops.
Wow.
But it has been look at that lineup. It's Fran Mill and it's Jose and, Eddie Rosario, if he gets hot, he's a good bad ball hitter. But other than that, they get nothing at first, nothing at catcher, very little in the outfield.
So you think a guy like Albert Pujols could fit in there?
Hey.
I think he might, but only if we hit him against lefties as third guy off the bench, maybe an occasional start. You're sounding like my oldest brother, Bob, who texted us, why aren't we getting Pujols? I'm like, oh, my God.
Terry Francona, that's perfect.
Where did BBD go?
He's peeing. He's peeing.
Jeez, I need him to put the picture of Travis Shaw
Right.
up on the screen because you're right. C. Rose, he looks like the Unabomber right now.
Shout
you
out.
mean Brian Shaw?
Brian Shaw.
Oh, what did I say? I said Travis Shaw?
Travis.
Yeah, Brian Shaw.
All of a
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he does. It's a horrible look. And by the way, we're talking Indians lineup. I've got this shirt. Look at this. This is from the 95 team. Just follow me, all right? Lofton, Vizquel, Baerga, Bell, Murray, Tomei, Ramirez, Paul Sorrento, Sandy Alomar. And if I do much more, I'm going to show off my moves. So I'm not going to lift this anymore.
That's later in the show. I don't know. So you don't think this team has a chance to compete in the AL Central? You don't think it gets maybe messy enough?
No, I think the White Sox will get their shit together.
Okay. That makes sense. It's crazy. I said this, I think, even last episode. When you actually see the White Sox talent and depth where, like, Kopech wasn't even penciled in for them this year, really, and now he's starting to go and all that stuff. Central's going to be interesting, man. The Indians ball club wins games despite everything they try to do in their off seasons. Royals get checked down back to earth a little bit. We'll see if the magic runs out there. Are you ready for my Twins fun fact, Trevor?
I am.
This was going to be my award, but I wanted to save it for if Chris Rose has to run early to record Chris Rose rotation ad. We'll see. So James Smythe is a gentleman who does the Yes Network stats, and he's interactive on Twitter, and he's good. He's good with the numbers. So he tweeted out the Twins are 0-7 under Calvin Ball rules, and I was like, what does that mean? In every extra inning game this year, 10-inning games, runners on second, the Twins are 0-7. So I asked James Smythe, I said, hey, is this just extra innings, or does this include 7-inning doubleheaders as well? He said, oh my God, they're 0-7 in extra inning games. They're 0-4 in doubleheaders. In 9-inning baseball games this year, the Minnesota Twins are 11-8.
That's something right there.
That's pretty good. That's not bad. I like it.
So a little bit of a deep cut, but if there's a team that is not liking the new rules, it is Minnesota. Oh my God!
People in Minnesota are like, okay,
yeah, let's go.
You betcha, Jake.
If they can just get to October, is what you're telling me, where they're going to play single games, and we play old extra inning rules. Watch out for the Twins.
They're feeling good. So
I like that. That was a nice stat. The people in Minnesota need that.
Yeah,
need
man.
That.
God,
they've been
11-19.
I do want to go back. Josh, I think it was Josh Osborne, gave us $10 in the chat because we were talking about the Phillies making the World Series. So I forgot to shout him out when it happened. So shout out, Josh, my guy.
Hey, what's this? I'm not technologically sound enough to get two screens on my computer.
This is great because I'm usually the boomer here. Now I'm like the cool young kid. This is great. Great for me.
Yeah, but I just if somebody had taught me ahead of time, I think I could have grasped it by about 2027. What are they saying in the chat? Are we good?
Oh yeah,
are we all right?
They're loving it.
What do you guys think about C Rose?
Everyone
roses in the chat.
Yeah,
everyone give your honest feelings.
Everyone keeps sending roses in the chat.
That's very
okay.
Are they black?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, black.
They're roses. Hey, either way, they're roses. Let's see. Because there is one more big conversation. The Rays swept the Angels. We got caught up on the Pujols side of that. Rays, a couple of their gross young pitchers have gotten it going. McClanahan looks like really we haven't seen lefties pump it like that. I don't know anything on the Rays. They're the Rays. They pitch and get timely hits and do their thing.
The weirdest team ever in baseball. Gotta love them.
I'm more interested in the upcoming series than the one they just completed. The Oakland series, Rays, A's, not just because we're into limericks and rhyming here, but because they mirror one another, the way they go about their business. And so I'll be more fascinated by that. The Angels are just all over the place.
Yeah,
They're
Angels.
just all over the place.
It's May and the Angels are in last place, and it feels like you could say that every year. Rays and A's in their last series, they were in Tampa and they played some really good baseball, so that will be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers took 2 out of 3, Red Sox 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. The Tigers are world-class bad. We mentioned how some of the other teams are fighting. The Pirates.
Can we stop that?
They are, Chris.
Can we stop that?
What?
Have some respect for the game.
Stop it.
Kloof, you've played on some shitty teams, right?
Yeah, I did. So
Okay.
I'm an expert. I'm an expert.
So when guys like Jake and myself and Jimmy and anybody else who wants to pile on, when we say they're shitty and they suck,
I think that Jake is more referring to the organization, and they're just not trying. So yeah, the players. We're not talking specifically players.
Stop. How are they not trying, Jake?
I thought there was a chance the Tigers were going to be exciting this season. Hinch coming into town. Those young pitchers.
Where's Hinch? Isn't Hinch this excellent baseball mind? What happened? My
you got
theory that you have to have good players to be a good manager rings true again.
Of course they were going to suck this year. None of their pitchers have innings at this level. Not all the guys they've drafted are going to be studs. So you got to figure out which ones have the balls to play at this level, and that's what they're doing. They're figuring it out right now.
Yes.
The bigger question is, with that organization, my son asked me this yesterday. He goes, when are the Tigers going to do with Miguel Cabrera what the Angels just did with Pujols? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I think they're scared of Miguel Cabrera. That's my opinion.
The Tigers?
Yes.
I think it's probably in range next year the final year? Before the options?
He's got 2 more.
I think that's
I
think that's the rub, man. I mean, if they're still going to pay him $40 million or $60 million, depending if it's 2 years or 3 years, like, might as well keep him around if he's happy and he'll talk to some of the young guys.
I believe there's 2 more guaranteed years after this year.
Whew.
In theory, they can mutually agree to $30 million a year for 2 years after that too. But
yeah.
So there's 2 more. He's got 2 more at 32 each at ages 39 and 40, and then 2 $30 million vesting options that vest if he's in the top 10 of the MVP voting.
Yeah.
So I think they're good there at age 41.
So, I mean,
is that amazing, though?
So if they released him today, they'd still owe him what?
60, 70, probably 70, almost $80 million.
Jeez. So I think they'll keep him as long as he's happy enough to be there and hang around. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So let's put this one on hold, and we'll have the conversation in 2023.
Chris, I guess when I say that about the Tigers is you can be a bad team and still be fun. Like even some of the recent Orioles teams, like at least they hit a little bit. Yeah. Like the Tigers, I don't know if there's a single guy that would be like a fantasy baseball option. Like Akil Baddoo was fun the first week. Outside of him, man, like I don't know. When we saw them play the Yankees, they played a lot of bad baseball. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that is in single digits in the win column. So
listen, I get it. They're not a good team. They are not a good team. Ploof, you got the who farted look on your face.
I'm looking up stats right now, okay?
It was me.
The Tigers are at the bottom of the barrel in ERA plus and OPS plus, and there's nobody even close. Now, I was on a 2012 team that lost 96 freaking games, okay? I've also lost 100 games. I've lost 100 games in my career too. But you're not going to find the Twins on the bottom of the barrel of either of those. We still had players on those teams that just didn't work out. They are actively not trying to win right now. They're actively not trying to win. And I think that's the difference in between me saying they're not a real baseball team and them being a real baseball team. It's not the player. It's not the players. The players are going out there trying their damnedest. And these guys, if you're in the major leagues, you're a major leaguer, okay? I have respect for the players, but their front office is not putting them in a position to win at all. They're not trying to win.
You could say, but hold on here. We just had the discussion about my Cleveland Indians. Do you know what their payroll was opening day?
30 or 40 million. I forget. It was really low.
44 million.
Yeah.
44 million. Okay. So
They're also not trying to win, but they're just so good developing players that they're winning baseball games.
Oh, okay, but maybe that's the point, is that I don't know if it's not that the Tigers are not trying. It's just when you're paying one guy so much money and he's not living up to that production, and you are trying to save money in certain areas, it's going to show across the board. It is going to show. Plus, they're trying to rely on so many young arms right now, right? Like Boyd's going to get traded at some point, and then it's just going to be a bunch of kids in that rotation, and they'll just see who makes it and who flops. Don't you agree?
Well, yes, and I mean I guess I was really excited for a lot of those kids. Scooble's been struggling a lot.
Casey Mize has not been good.
Yeah, so I guess that's the point. Like if Casey Mize had gone off to a real hot start and there was like Mize fever. Right now they don't have the one thing. Like
it's hard.
I know.
Dude. It is hard.
High school baseball was hard for me. Never mind what they're doing. And by the way,
Luke, was there one? Sorry,
I was going to say that 2012 Minnesota Twins team. I mean, that had Joe Mauer was hitting .319. I mean, you could tune in to 16 starts by Liam Hendricks. So, I mean,
we did not have the pitching that year,
was
okay?
entertainment. Ben Revere stole 40 bags. I need one guy on the Tigers to tune into. That's what I need.
And I will look. We need to get off the Tigers, but I do want to make a point.
Yes, we do.
Make a point. I've always said this. A manager is only as good as his players. People were like, AJ Hinch is the greatest baseball mind in baseball. We got to get it back. What does he do differently? He writes does he have a better pen that he writes the lineup with or what? This is the prime example. If you have good players, you're a good manager. Joe Girardi knew how to manage the bullpen. Oh, because he had a great bullpen. That's why he managed the bullpen great, because he had a great bullpen. People need to just remember this. Tigers are a great example of it. If you're a manager, you're only as good as your players. Yeah, Phil Jackson.
The season without either MJ, Kobe, or Shaq.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, sorry. That's my rant.
It was beautiful. That's why we need to talk about it. And there's one last hot button we can kind of we normally try to hit the Yanks quick. Speaking of Hinch, the Astros came to town. We went to the third game where Altuve hit the take the wind out of the stadium homer, which was a pretty wild thing to see.
All right, quickly, tell us about that. I want to hear what the stadium reaction was.
So it was the loudest the stadium was because it was 2 strikes to Altuve, who they kept getting loud for. With the Yanks were still up 1 at that point, right?
They were still up. It was first and third, 1 out, I believe, and they got Green had fallen behind 3-1. He just got the strike to make it a full count again, and it got as loud as it's gotten.
It was as loud as it was, and then Altuve cranked it, and I mean, out of stadium events I've been to, that's probably the biggest win just taken right out of it because it was the one guy. And I know Trev was getting roasted for this, and I mean, I might even say it quick so no one can clip it, but my initial thought was, holy crap, how good does it have to feel for that guy? So, it sucked for my Yanks, and they accomplished what they needed to. They won the series. Obviously, it was pretty wild. I mean, hearing how loud that stadium got with 10K people in it was cool, and what Stanton's doing right now is insane. So, I mean, it was classic. We do a Talkin' Yanks pregame show every day, and my line that I said that I'll lean into again, like if there was ever a team that, they already lost the series, the Yankees won the war, we're booing their guys. If there was a group of guys that could say, you know what would be nice if on our way out, their golden goose, Garrett Cole, if we could get them on today and walk away with a win. And that's what Houston did. And Altuve hits the homer, and they beat Cole. And so I don't know, man. It was the first inning of that series felt like a normal baseball game. So to have that for 3 days was a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, we still got the Interleague to go over.
Oh,
that's
wow.
UC roast.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop after the Interleague.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, all you tell me about all of the Interleague baseball games from this past week. Oh, wow. That's our normal music. We got it. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I guess I get to do the interleague recap. I think we only had the one in Cincinnati, the White Sox and the Reds. That was it. Okay, Shoeless Joe threw the series, and oh wait, this can't be right here. All right, so it was split.
Yeah.
It was only a 2-game set. White Sox won the first one 9-0 behind Dylan Cease. Forget about what he did on the mound. The man got 3 knocks in his first 3 ABs. The first American League pitcher to do that since the legendary Boo Ferris in 1945 to start his career 3 for 3. Holy smokes. Dallas Keuchel followed that up with shutout ball of his own, but he was matched by Sonny Gray in Game 2. So we had to go extras, a game in which, of course, we know that the Minnesota Twins would have lost if they had played in this series. But instead, it was the Reds that got the win. Jesse Winker with the walk-off. The big news in that one was that Liam Hendricks, who was brought in to pitch, was the runner at second base in the top of the 10th, even though he did not need to be via rule book. And Tony La Russa did not know that.
Yeah.
Jake and Plouffe, let's start with you, Jake. Is that the biggest news to come out of that interleague set?
Oh, man. Great job on the interleague games. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit. It's how about I'll say this. I think it's innocent enough. This actually happened in a Yankees-Orioles game last year. Jonathan Holder ran the bases, and the Yankees didn't know the rule. The Orioles did the same thing. They didn't know the rule. So I'm a little more immune to this situation. I think this is a nice little kindling if everyone wants to start their La Russa fire. And like we said before, you still expect the White Sox to have this division. I think they're easily the most talented team. If they don't get the engine turning, and maybe La Russa has another small thing here, small thing there, then the fire starts to get a little bigger, and that's when, I don't know, Reinsdorf loves him. He's not getting fired.
And we talked about this a little bit, but where were the bench coaches at? Like, I know it falls on La Russa because he's
They've
the
got
manager.
67 of them.
But yeah, they have a ton of bench coaches, and you'd think that one of them would have been like, hey, no, we don't need to have Hendricks. They didn't do that. And what I thought was really funny was like, yeah, maybe that's an obscure thing. Like maybe they just didn't really talk about it, whatever. But David Bell, manager of the Reds, came out after the game and said, oh, the league was explicitly clear on this rule. They made it very, very clear that the pitcher didn't have to run. So it's a super bad look. And Rosie and I were just defending La Russa about some of the managerial decisions he made. People were all over him about leaving Lucas Giolito in too long, not pinch hitting Vaughn or for Hamilton, something like that. And I'm like, you know what? Those are going to happen throughout 162. This to me is a little bit less excusable. It's more inexcusable. How about that right there? So, it kind of falls on the whole coaching staff, but La Russa really kind of is he showing his age a little bit right there?
Ooh.
I know it's a weird rule, so I kind of give him a little leeway there, but you still gotta know it.
Yeah, you have to know it. It's inexcusable. The one thing a coach has to know in any league is the rule book. You have to, because you are the last line of defense, and that is you often hear the game speeds up on guys. The game speeds up on guys, and when a bench coach comes in to manage for a guy who's sick or has to take the weekend off because he's got a family issue or something like that, you always hear the bench coach say, I never understand how fast the game happens. This didn't happen immediately. Yeah. Like, we had a commercial break. Guy trots out. Like, you could probably – like, Liam has got his helmet on wrong. Why is he even out there with his helmet on? Like, he doesn't have to be running. Like, we could send out Jose Abreu. He was the last guy to make the out before the pitcher spot. Like, that's what it says in the rule book. And I have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to figure that out. That's inexcusable. Yeah. But I guess to circle back to my own question, that was not the biggest thing to have happen in that series. 2 injuries.
Yeah.
Votto down for at least a month, and Luis Robert. That one could be big because they were already missing Eloy Jimenez, right? So now to take Robert out and miss basically, he's going to be back hopefully by August. and help them out maybe the last 6 weeks of the season. But, man, to miss all that developmental time for a kid who's still kind of learning and growing in this game, that's big-time stuff, in my opinion. Hey, by the way, we just found a place for Albert Pujols with Otto's interest.
Wow. Cincy.
Wow.
Cincinnati Pujolses.
There you go. If you're looking for a guy who hit 198, call him.
Also Trevor Plouffe.
All right, let's so 2017 Plouffe is back. Look, let's let Rosie get out of here. He's got a really important interview to do with Tyler Glass now. And you want to announce the guest?
Go ahead. You can do it.
My guy, my captain, Evan Longoria joining. Sneaky great career on the like he's close to being a Hall of Famer. He's very close to being a Hall of Famer. He's got to play a little bit longer.
So he does. And he hit his 300th homer last year, which I think a lot of people missed it. Like 300 homers is a lot of homers, right? And he did it in front of no fans. So I'm going to get his take on that because I have to imagine he's probably running around the bases like, shit, man, I just hit 300. And then he's looking around. He's like, does it really count if you could actually hear it clank off of the seats?
Hey.
56 and a half career WAR, 308 homers. And, he's hitting 282 with a 391, 513, 904, 156 OPS plus
Old
this
guys can
year.
play.
Hey,
do we like him better with the beard or without it?
Young Longo with like the little soul patch is probably my favorite. Longo. Yeah. Make sure you mention that to him.
I will.
Longo.
I will. The flavor.
Longo is genuinely a favorite of Trev, so he's not blowing smoke. That's his dude. We hear almost every time we mention the Giants, and if Longoria doesn't get love, we get yelled at. So.
Hey, by the way, if you want to text him and just say, hey, man, I hear that you're taping with Rose at 11 o'clock Pacific time. That's awesome. It wouldn't hurt as a reminder.
Okay, I'll remind him.
just a little FYI.
And just so you know, he's super into cards now. Like
cards.
Yeah,
I know.
So ask him about that. We're actually
gonna,
on IG together a lot of the nights doing these breaks together. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
That's cool. That's awesome. Guys, I appreciate you having me. Jimmy will be back in his seat hopefully on Monday. I know everybody, the fan base is rooting for it. I know it's hard when you get a different person in the seat. I've had that. I've been a part of it. Thank you for letting me hang out for the hour.
Chris Rose, the
it.
chat is very happy with you. Everyone, tweet your love for Chris Rose. Go check out the rotation.
You guys are nice.
And we'll see you soon, soonish maybe.
Well, that was a question mark. But considering you're the boss, that's not very supportive.
Well, no, I was I guess it's kind of we peel back the curtains here, but I just Robbie Scirocco, your producer extraordinaire, I got his sheet over this morning, and he he had a good suggestion on there that maybe we have a monthly Chris Rose pop-in or something. I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. So how about that?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I'm around.
Okay. Well,
all right, boys. I got to find my notes. I've got my whole Longoria interview somewhere around here. We'll have the wheel of moderately interesting things to spin.
Yeah.
Spin this once. We could cross promote.
Yeah. Hit Trev with it.
I'll have Plouffe answer this.
The player.
Oh, this is a great one. Double play. Who do people say you look like? What celebrity?
Brad Pitt, no big deal. No, not
right,
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. People say that all the time.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And he's a good-looking dude and kind of a cool guy. So I'll take that.
Oh yeah, he's got way more swag than you.
Yeah,
do,
he
which
does.
is hard because you got swag, but he's got it big time. Nice. I like that. That's a good call.
Damn.
Thank you.
All right, gang.
See you, Rosie.
Have a good weekend.
Thank
Peace.
you.
Let me tell you something. The chat did not like me saying that Longo was this close to being a Hall of Famer. Maybe he's not that close.
Yeah.
Maybe he's more like 10 or 15 feet. But he's my guy. Let me gas him up a little bit.
2, 3 more 6 WAR seasons, and you're there, Longo. Thank you.
He can do it.
Thank you to Chris Rose. Everyone go tweet at him. Tell him you enjoyed him on here. I know the chat was loving it. Rosie's the best. And yeah, I now see the Travis Kelce thing. Beef you up a little bit, give you the one earring.
Yeah. I need to get a little bit bigger and a lot more like swag.
All right. Well, speaking of getting a little bigger, before we go to our standout performances, This is a new one for me, Trev. Fundrise.
Whoa.
Fundrise. We're investors here, Trev. In 2021, a truly diversified portfolio. Trev, you're actually my guy for this. It needs more than a traditional mix of stock, bonds, and mutual funds. It needs private real estate. Studies have shown that portfolios with an allocation of private real estate generally delivered a better risk-adjusted return with more annual income and lower volatility over the past 2 decades, thanks to its track record of consistent performance and cycles. Spread the money out, man. You got to do it, and do it with Fundrise, man. Access to diversified portfolios of private real estate to all investors with their industry-leading, easy-to-use platform. Fundrise's team of real estate professionals carefully vets and actively manages all of their real estate projects with their easy-to-use website, and you can track your portfolio. I was actually going to do this with Chris Rose because the first guest episode, he had Snell on, and he was like, Snell, did you buy a house in San Diego yet? And he's like, nah, I'm renting, dude. And he's like, buy a house. That's a good investment. You're going to be there for a couple years. Buy it, sell it. You'll thank me later. You guys, unless you get traded to the Padres, use Fundrise. See yourself how 150,000 investors have built a better portfolio with private real estate. It takes just a few minutes to get started. Go to fundrise.com/baseball today. That's Fundrise, FUNDRISE.com/baseball. Fundrise.com/baseball. Invest a little. It's smart. BBD, you're a young guy. Invest a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to be smart.
Okay.
Try it out sometime.
I like the idea of like the fund of it, because a lot of times, obviously, not everyone has capital to just go in themselves and buy some real estate. But if you crowdsource it and get everyone together, get a little piece of the pie, I like it.
Love that. All right, Trev, let's start cranking. We'll get a little more BBD in the show. Let's go to Standout Performance. There's a couple good ones. BBD, you might have to get the rear and get the one guy we're clearly missing right now. But I'll go first, and I went Yankees biased right now because holy crap, Giancarlo Stanton is in a different world. My man, I mean, we try to pick out one game, and he had 2 games listed on the sheet. Tuesday, he went 4 for 5 with a homer, a double, 3 RBIs. Wednesday, 3 for 4, homer, double, 4 RBIs. The guy, I mean, it might be a late night, 10 p.m. Jake and Trev conversation. If this dude keeps up for a whole season, not like he's been the past 2 weeks. He's hitting 500 the past 2 weeks. Not like that. But if he puts together the Giancarlo Stanton season that, he did a few times on the Marlins, the MVP year, analytics guys and people that follow the game are going to check in. Every year he leads in exit velo. Every day he basically leads in exit velo, and that directly correlates to getting more hits. He has a very unique batting stance. If Giancarlo Stanton can stay healthy, stay consistent, and be good, he can kind of change the game a little bit, where I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of these hitting coaches or analytics guys, if you're a big boy, just get that bat to the ball and let it go, man. And he just looks so locked in right now. If you make a mistake to him, it's going a long way. So I'm giving it to Big G.
I like that. Number one, I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
But the chat is requesting BBD in the rectangle. Give the chat what they want.
Okay.
Yes.
Make it happen, BBD. Wow.
We can do that.
Goodness.
Holy cow. Foot long. Who ordered the
Let's
foot
go.
long?
Big dong in the rectangle. That's what I'm talking
Like that.
about.
Whoa.
All right, let's talk about Giancarlo, because we did this on the C-Rose IG Live. We talked about him. His average exit velo right now is 99 point something. League average is 87 point something. Okay, the guy hits the crap out of the ball. The game is better when Giancarlo Stanton is healthy and on the field, because I don't want to be mean. That's not a mean thing. This is a compliment. He's like a mutant, dude. He's so strong.
Yeah.
He's like a superhero out there on the baseball field. All he's got to do is touch it, our boy Dan Rourke, another producer extraordinaire at the company. We put out our highest exit velos every day on the Sequence Twitter and Instagram ad. Every day, it's Giancarlo Stanton. Every day.
Every day.
Oh man, he's been really fun to watch.
Like, not even in a joking way, it's every day. Like, even his outs are loud. The out to end the game yesterday, Bregman snared. I think that was like 100+ off the bat. It's freaky. You're right. Like, every 5'10" dude in the minor leagues probably shouldn't be trying to swing like Giancarlo. But if you're a big boy, give it a chance, because if you can make the ball hit the bat enough, I mean, it could be game-changing. Stay healthy, dude. Keep it up. He looks really good right now. Trev, who is your standout performance?
There's so many really good performances. I mean, I think someone we're going to talk about really deserves it. Oscar Yanoa. I mean, that's a pretty awesome one. We could go everywhere. That Randall Grichuk is doing really well. I like Randall Grichuk, but I'm just doing what Jimmy would do.
I like that.
In case anybody doesn't know, I love you, Randall.
It's an appreciation.
But I'm going to go with one of my guys. That's what I do. I love my guys.
Yeah.
Especially, if I know you and I played in the bushes with you, we're together forever. So that is my guy, Cole Swervin Irvin for the A's. 8 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 3 hits. Look, I played with Cole in the minor leagues. He was dominant in AAA. A lot of foolish swings. I think I've talked about him a little bit on Talkin Baseball, and it hasn't translated in the big leagues. Got a few starts here and there, 3 starts in 2019 with the Phillies, and only 3 games, no games started last year. It just didn't translate, okay, for whatever reason. But then he goes over to the A's, and we know what the A's can do. They just find pitching. They know how to develop pitching. Cole's over there now. 6 games started, a 3.09 ERA. And what I love, Jake, I love this. 34 strikeouts, 5 freaking walks.
Yeah.
I love Cole. He's a guy, like one of the nicer guys you're ever going to meet. So I'm happy for his success. And look, man, player development, Jake. Coaching, player development, it means something. I don't know what the Phillies are doing over there. They couldn't figure out Cole, but the A's look like they sure have. And if you get a guy like that, a guy that's just a throw-in, you didn't count on him doing anything for you, all of a sudden he's probably one of your better pitchers. That's how a team, has a banner year. So good for Oakland, good for Cole. You're my standout performance.
Yeah, I wonder how many years you can go back and the Oakland Athletics have a pitcher that gives them kind of a great season just out of left field. Like it was Bassett last year. I mean, Bassett was their one. The year before that, I mean, Montes kind of took off, but he had some prospect stuff. Like 34-year-old Edwin Jackson gave them 17 starts with a 3.3 ERA. So Oakland, Trev, we will now have a running joke forever about coaches after the San Francisco Giants incident. But no,
which I was right about.
I mean, what if you could, if you could tell a free agent pitcher, although that's not the A's strength, but if you can unearth a starting pitcher every year to give you 20 starts with a nice ERA,
that's every team's dream.
Yeah, teams normally pay a free agent $20 million for that. Oakland pays a coach $800K, and then they get a random player to do it. So. And when you say Swervin Irvin, I mean, that just does something.
He makes his own fishing poles, too.
I did not know that.
So go check that out. He would literally be making fishing poles in the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs locker room. And I would, did I make fun of him a little bit? Sure, whatever. But we have a good relationship. So love you, Swerve.
So show. BBD, there was a gentleman who probably should have been the first one mentioned that I hate to force your hand, but it needed to be forced.
Jake, I think I figured out which guy you were referring to. It is John Means. Threw a no-hitter, a perfect no-hitter. Because it was the first one, no walks, no hit by pitch, no errors. Just the drop third strike's the only guy that got on.
Yeah.
Still faced the minimum.
Arguably,
as good as it gets.
Arguably the best no-hitter ever. A pass ball strikeout.
Well, I would say, because people have been talking about this. I still think the Galarraga one is the that's the worst perfect game that isn't a perfect game.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That
good.
one's tough. That one's really
that
tough.
was a perfect game. It's tough.
But yeah, what a game, man. What do you guys feel about the drop third strike rule? Because that was a hot button topic on Twitter. Everyone, Pitching Ninja hates it. Fire it into the sun, he said. I get it.
Yeah.
I get why people are mad about it, but in my opinion, it's just another completion of a play.
Yeah, I mean the other play in sports I compare it to, which people hate this, is the fumble through the end zone.
No,
I know,
oh.
I know, and people hate the comparison between those two, but I think both of them are like somewhat of a last ditch effort to still be successful. If you're a batter and you strike out on a gnarly pitch, but it was so gnarly it gets away, you still get a chance to get on base. That's kind of the wide receiver reaching for the pylon, and if you can knock it out, that's your reward. So I don't know. It's a quirk in the sport. If it went away, I think at the same time I'd be like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I get it. The pitcher won, but I like it as a little loophole.
No hitter wants to run to first base after striking out. Just watch guys try to. They're like, this sucks.
Disagree. That was a big.
Oh, that was your favorite
a big
part?
part of my strategy towards the end. Oh, that pitch might get away.
That is something that everyone thinks about. Should I just swing at that pitch and just run to first? Because I'm not going to get a hit
the
off
catcher's
this guy.
getting it. BBD.
So
It
funny.
was a beautiful award. No hitter, John Means. There's some
Early settler.
early
yeah.
settler named big time. What's his
He's
brother's
got
name?
a brother named Jacob Means.
John and Jacob Means.
And then I think also maybe he could have been like a 49er, like a gold rush guy.
Okay.
We
were saying
traveled across the country in search of riches.
We were saying his look is more Pocahontas vibes. Like if you gave him one of those outfits and he's got that big jawline and all that. Happy for him, man. And he could be pitching himself into an interesting situation. Former All-Star. He's been lights out this year. I think that brought his ERA down to like 1.3. It was 1.7 heading into that game, so he's already having a good season. He's got 3 years of control left. You wonder, does that line up with the Orioles or what they think their timeline is? Or can you flip him and get like an absolute haul at this point? 3 years of control on a lefty pitcher?
Make it like the move you point to.
If they think they're going to be good at all in the future, you can't do that.
No, I understand it, but I don't know. I'd be interested to see. Because the Orioles probably think they're going to be good in 2 years, which means you'd have 2 years of John Means. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Great stuff, BBD. A lot of guys got snubbed. We might be talking about them and in Fuego, but until then, Beavers.
Whoa.
Slump Watch.
That was really good.
I do a really good mouth trumpet. It's my number one skill.
I was going to say I need the mouth trumpet today because I realized in this moment that's the only other sound I didn't have. I did end up getting the music earlier that we discussed.
I did a mouth trumpet from the other front in the studio, and people in the main office thought it was a real instrument like being played on YouTube. It's my top skill.
It's really
That
good.
was very
Thank
impressive.
you. BBD, Slump Watch me.
Guys, we've got, the guys we were watching a few are ready to come off. But the 5 guys we're looking at, the biggest offers of the week. Carlos Correa comes to the Bronx, goes 0 for 12. RBI mixed in there, 3 Ks. Freddie Freeman has an 0 for 7 week, 2 walks, both intentional, 3 Ks. Mike Moustakas 0 for 8. Wilson Contreras 0 for 8, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Kyle Tucker 0 for 5, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Got a lot of we don't know you chants in the Bronx.
Yeah. That was
That's kind of a good one. That hurts. That hurts. a little
Good
bit.
John Sterling clip from that. Jay Sterling calls on Twitter. BBD, if I'm reading this right, it looks like we've got 3 guys that should clearly come off Slump Watch.
It looks that way to me. I mean, so Ty France is a firm stay on, I
Stay,
think. 'Cause
sure.
Another 0 for 10 week. Lindor we're still watching.
Yeah.
Got one this series, but that is all. But Max Muncy, we've been watching him. I think we might still want to make that its own watch. 3 for 10, 2 homers, a double, triple. Only 1 walk. So
Good for Muncy.
Kind of not doing the thing Muncy's been doing. And I want to watch that for myself, but I don't know. Slump Watch stuff.
He's off Slump Watch. We have half an eye on Muncy as of now.
Might be getting his own section. Shohei Ohtani, we put him on. It wasn't a firm put him on. Just we wanted to watch it, and yeah, he's off again. 4 for 11, 2 homers, a double, 4 RBIs. And Jose Abreu, 2 for 7, homer, 3 RBIs, walk, 2 Ks. And those are the guys we revisited.
Okay, so Jose Abreu, Ohtani, and Max Muncy are off. Good job to those guys. Snaps for them. So I'd say Trev. I mean, Correa, Freddie Freeman, those two jump out in a big way just because name-wise, offers, and Freddie's 2 walks both being intentional feels impactful.
I don't know the situation. I'm guessing, yeah. I don't know. I just don't know why they were intentional. I didn't watch those games.
So for me, it comes down to our guy Moose, which just hurts, and I don't think I can do it.
I don't think I can either. I don't think I can put Moose on there.
Especially when Wilson Contreras has the same numbers. I think it's Wilson Contreras. Especially if we're doing the trade deadline Cubs, which Chris Rose just said they will be selling at the deadline.
There's multiple reasons to watch.
I'm looking at the slash line. I can't put Wilson on there because he's still having a good year in 2 games. You're going to put him on the slump watch. I don't like that.
Okay.
I can throw in.
So we
can throw in a late edition.
It might have to be Moose. Give me the late edition.
I mean, Judge, this Astros series. I mean, I think he got a hit in that first game.
He went,
but he
had 5 strikeouts.
He had 7 consecutive Ks between those last 2 games. The Yankees are kind of real again, so Yankees can be on slump watch again.
Big box BBD just throwing in Judge at the buzzer. Ain't that it?
Every time I look at his numbers, I'm like, holy shit. Like, even with his bad series or bad game, whatever, I mean, he's still
having a really good.
People don't want to hear it from Yankee fans. Aaron Judge is an absolute stud. Like, he really is.
Put him on the slump watch. You know,
Yeah. He had a little strikeout spree. Giancarlo getting MVP chance.
Bro, 5 strikeouts in a game is tough, so he deserves to be on.
What was it, 7 straight at one point?
Yeah, he had the 0 for 5 Ks, and then he struck out his first 2 at-bats yesterday. With that said, they didn't feel like awful at-bats, just vibes-wise, but they happened.
I like it. I mean, big box BBD, just how about Judge? Get on the list, babe. Okay, so our slump watch list for next episode: Ty France, Frankie Lindor, Correa, Freeman, Judge. That's not a bad 5. Mike Moustakas dodges it because we all like him, so that's good news. That's good news. All right, BBD, let's turn this up a notch. Let's get to the good stuff.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
We've got some good names for Fuego. Stanton's been going absolutely nuts. I gave him the award. 615 is the batting average, people. Miggy Rojas, Chris Rose rotation. How about a little 7 for 12? Gets his first homer. Triple, 2 doubles. Oh, baby. Circle the bases. Ramon Laureano. He's been going off. Yordan Alvarez. How about 2 homers off Garrett Cole? 500 batting average over the series. Avisail Garcia trying to put the team on his back. Greg Jennings, 636 batting average. That's 7 for 11. Brandon Belt with a couple homers and a doubleheader. That was huge in the JOMBOY Media Homer Draft. Brandon Crawford, couple good days at the office like that. How about Pat Valaika sneaking in? 5 for 9. Your boy, Trevor. That's who we've got on the Fuego list.
Can I tell my Pat Valaika story?
I would love
again?
if you did.
Pat Valaika's older brother, Chris, and I grew up playing baseball together, and that's a big family of ball players. I don't know, there might be 3 of them that have played pro ball. Don't know that. I don't know that for sure because that was a long time ago we were hanging out. But I did at one point sleep over at the Valaika's house, and we watched, and this is kind of full circle, We watched the first Mortal Kombat movie
Wow.
together. And I just got really high the other night and watched the new Mortal Kombat movie, which was excellent. So I'm always rooting for the Villekas. Very nice family. Pat's kind of had to bounce around a little bit, but hey, man, good for you. Nice little 5-for-9 Johnson. So go Pat Villeka.
Go, Pat Villeka. Go. How about it? Good. That's kind of in Fuego. Ain't that it?
Yeah.
Let's go to. We're getting towards the end. We're timing it well. Let's finish strong. Regular old awards. Awards. Tough without the echo.
I'll start this
Trev,
one
I would
off, kids.
love that. I would love that.
Mine is more of an apology than an award, so
fine.
I'll just call it the Apologetic Award, and it's going to go to Brandon Belt on May the 4th. I read off the John Boy Media Homer draft picks, and I forget who it was. Somebody picked Brandon Belt, and I said, he's not really a slugger.
Oh, I remember.
Well,
who
it
it
turns out
was.
he's hit. Was it the Talkin Yanks crew?
It was us.
Okay. Well, I said that, and then there was a doubleheader that day, and he hit 2 homers, one of them being a grand slam. And then the social media department of John Boy Media made it very clear that he's also hit many more home runs than me, so he is more of a slugger than me. So I'll just say, look, I didn't mean any offense by it. I'm glad you took that to heart and went out and hit homer. So I apologize for calling you a non-slugger. Clearly, you're a slugger. The baby giraffe, my guy, Brandon Belt. Good for you. One of those guys, another baseball reference page, like, okay, he's pretty damn good. Stuck up there in San Francisco. Like you said, 4 for 10, 2 homers, grand slam, 7 RBIs. He just shoved it up.
Man.
So I'm sorry.
That's a very nice apology. Yeah, we I forget if it was on here one day. We were debating this in the office. We did if Brandon Belt had played like with the Yankees, if he had the short porch, and I think it would have added like 10 to 12 homers to his career or something. And it's like, how would we look at Brandon Belt? He's had some big years. He's had some lesser years. Huge for the John Boy Media Homer draft. I'll give out the so I was gonna I mentioned the Minnesota Twins stats and not 9-inning regulation games, the Mad at Uncle Bobby Manfred Award, but we already talked about that, so I'm not gonna do it. I'll give the Copycat Award, and it's gonna go to a couple guys. You mentioned Ynoa, who's been hitting and pitching. By the way, go check out Oscar Ynoa's home runs. He's like kind of pimping them. It's like it looks like a wiffle ball type swing, and he's hit a couple taters. And Chris Rose mentioned it, Dylan Cease. How about have a day, kid? Pitch some one-hit ball and get 3 hits. So shout out to all the pitchers that are trying to go Ohtani mode and copycat him. And I think those tweets are starting to get old whenever a pitcher gets a hit. Be like, oh, is this Ohtani light? I think we're finally hitting the peak of the mountain there that we kind of need to cut that out and come back. Which, by the way, Trev, this could open up a whole can of worms. I can't believe I want to throw this in. Okay, I'm going to phrase this terribly. What's the worst Ohtani's stats could be where he could win MVP? Like, that's what I was asking myself last night. Like, if Ohtani finishes the year and he hits 30 homers, has an OPS in the 9s, and then he has 12 starts and a 3.5 ERA, is that enough to win him MVP? Like, I'm trying to think what the balance is in your head.
That is a strange question.
strange
I think he's got to be healthy the entire season. I think he's got to make more than 12 starts. Like, he's got to do that the entire year. And I mean, look, he's doing things that literally have like never been done before. There was a pretty good stat out there that I think our girl Sarah Langs put out, talking about, hitters with over 10 home runs and 30 strikeouts, and it's just him and Ohtani. I don't know. That's a really tough question to answer, but I think he has to be healthy all year, and he has to pitch and hit all year. He can't like take some time off of pitching like with a minor arm injury and just hit. Like he's got to do both all year.
I guess that's where I kind of mentally have been disagreeing is that like if Ohtani has, I know we just kind of threw all-stars under the bus, but he finishes with what looks like an all-star season. Like if he has 30 home runs, like he had a really solid hitting season. It's not a season that would win you MVP. But if he also has a handful of solid starts, like we don't have a way to quantify that. So I just wonder if the voters see that and they're like, well, how many guys hit 30 home runs and also had 14 good starts? Nobody. So that's why he's quote unquote most valuable. So I don't know.
That's the thing is it's gonna be up to obviously the writers. And like they love shit like this. They'll be able to write all sorts of articles and content creation because of it. So I think like he's got to be the front runner right now.
Yeah.
Just because of that. Like I'm not saying he's maybe deserves to be the front runner. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I think the writers are going to eat that shit up.
Okay. Well, poorly phrased.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, please.
People were saying the Mortal Kombat movie was really bad. I will admit, I'm not the best judge of movies. A lot of times when I think a movie is good, people are like, oh, that movie sucks. And then on the flip side, when I think a movie is bad, people are like, oh, you just didn't get it. And maybe that's true. I thought Mortal Kombat was very entertaining. Was I on the moon for it? Yes. Maybe get on that level. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was some gruesome stuff going on. I thought it was cool. It was entertaining. It wasn't like it was, Schindler's List or something like that. It's a different type of movie.
It's the reverse Tigers effect. Like, can you just entertain me a little bit? And I haven't watched the combat. Maybe I'll do that tonight.
It's ridiculous, but it's fun.
BBD, I know we didn't fully prep you. Do you have a little award you want to get out there?
Yeah, I figured out where I'm going to go with this. No, although I'm always looking to go there if I can.
I think I would have turned off your mic if you gave out a Phillies infield award.
Yeah, so I'm giving out the Phillies infield award, and I'm giving out the Bring Me Down award.
Okay.
I'm giving it to Dallas Keuchel.
Okay.
This year he hadn't fully gotten it going. We targeted him for the homer draft the other day because he hadn't fully gotten it going. They were facing the Reds, and Castellanos crushes lefties. They didn't play him. It's a different issue. But he goes 7 innings pitched and only 1 K, which is you kind of just don't see that. But 14 ground balls. And just a lot. That's a season high. Ground balls. The last 3 starts, 13, 11, and now 14 ground balls. So, I don't know. It's just getting the ball down.
That's what he does when he's right.
Doing the Dallas Keuchel thing. Just does it his own way.
Those guys are very valuable in today's game. Keep the ball on the ground. Maybe go to Coors. Help the Rocks out. Help Jake's former team, the Rocks, out.
I want to check out his Baseball Savant really quickly because he's going to be a fun one to track. Because, Cy Young Keuchel, we've come back a little bit from there. That's a guy who can clearly pitch, and his Baseball Savant probably shouldn't matter at all. I bet it still looks solid. But I wonder 3 years from now, is Keuchel still going to be getting dudes out and nerds are going to be pissed off? His spin's not that great. I don't know how he does it. It's because he knows how to pitch.
Because he gets all these ground ball quick outs.
His Baseball Savant is fantastic. He's 93rd percentile in average exit velo. Everything else is his fastball velo 3%, fastball spin 8%. K percentage 2%. Okay, so it's already where I wanted it to be. That's fantastic. Fantastic.
He's able to get all these ground balls, all these quick outs. He hasn't broken 100 pitches in a game yet this year. This is me just looking at his game log, and he's still gone at least 5 innings in all but 1 start, and that was the first start of the year when clearly they're like, 4 innings and you're out of here.
Just building up.
Every other time he's gone at least 5. Most of them have been 6, I think. No, just last 3. Anyway, Dallas Keuchel, like ya.
He's great. Did you face him a lot, Trev?
I did. Tough at bat, man. I don't know what my numbers are against him. They're not good. I don't think I had no extra base hits or something like that. He's just a head-scratching A to B. You go up there, you have a plan. You're like, okay, I know exactly what he's going to do to me. But he just nibbles, bro.
Yeah.
He'll make you expand the zone because he can put it where he wants it, and you get you got to be really patient with him, and you can get overly aggressive because you're like, dude, it's a lefty throwing 88 miles an hour, 88 to 91, like that's my guy. But where he's able to tunnel pitches and like I said, just make you expand the zone. So just tough at bat.
4 for 15, walked you once, 5 Ks, 3 doubles in the 4 hits. So when you got him, you got a nice piece.
Okay, Trev.
Shit.
He's got a
Double
sign
to
in the
left
bag.
center, double down or down the right field line. It looks like.
Oh, that's a nice little piece.
It says line drive to short right field line, which I don't think I've seen all those together on a description before.
Look, put it this way. I respect Dallas Keuchel immensely.
Yeah.
I don't
Hot.
respect a lot of starting
Low
pitchers.
key hot.
Double down the left field line too.
He's hot in his look.
The beard
hot
plays
in
for
his
him. He
look.
needs to,
Yeah. He's hot in his look.
You had a 2 for 3 day against him the last time you faced him in 17. You were with the Rays. It's just funny.
Oh.
Single down the left field line to deep left field, double down the left field line to short left field. So I don't know where those were. I'm gonna go watch that tape after this.
What's up?
I blocked that season from my brain.
What's up, Longo? Before we do elevator talk, which I'm not even sure how to bring up, so maybe we'll do a random team.
Hey, we just pick a team.
Best friend of the week, BBD. I'm gonna step on your toes a little bit. Oh, you have it, Trev?
Oh,
okay.
I wanted it.
Who do you?
Yeah.
You know who it is?
I have a guy.
Okay.
He's tall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plays for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hearn Hunge.
The Hearn Hunge getting the W. 2 innings pitched, 7 batters faced. Gets his first dub of his career. That's snaps, baby. Way to go, Hearn Hunge. What I'm talking
Taylor Hearn of the Texas Rangers. Yeah, that's our dude. Got his first major league W. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. I know none of you kids or analytics people care about getting W's anymore, but to get a baseball and say I was the winning pitcher in a major league game, that's pretty damn cool. So.
And he's from
local,
Dallas area, so that's
gotta
really
feel
cool to do it
good.
for your hometown team.
Also low key, pretty hot.
Step it up a little bit, Hearn. Hey, we're giving you the best friend of the week. Overall stats you need reel it in a little bit. Let's go, baby.
Got all the pieces
Rooting
there.
for you.
Little reliever effect. He's punching people. It's coming.
All right.
Okay, the last thing, elevator talk. We spin a wheel, and I don't have a wheel, so I'm going to maybe pick a team that we haven't talked about, that we want to talk about a little bit. Wow, it's looking like a lot like the Diamondbacks.
Let's do the Jays.
The Jays!
People always say we never talk about the Jays.
Toronto.
People always say it.
Trev, I can't believe you said that. It landed on the Toronto Blue Jays. What are your pure thoughts before you even jump to the page? What are you feeling?
Are they banging like they were supposed to be banging?
Let's see.
I gotta look that up. Okay, like I'm not. We don't talk enough about the Jays.
How about
that?
this?
Okay, we kind of put them aside.
Second in home runs in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
The other hitting stats kind of middle top. They're 5th in batting average, 6th in on base, 6th in OPS. So they're not fully clicking. They are hitting the gopher ball. So I don't know if they're trying to do that too much or what's going on. Yeah, that fuck Grichuk, third shout out on the show for JOMBOY. Get better, friend. 306, 345, 858. He was supposed to be their 4th outfielder this year. Not too shabby.
Vlad's killing it. Bobichet's, being Bobichette. They haven't got anything out of Danny Jansen. Alejandro Kirk's on the IL, so that's interesting to look at that position.
Their bullpen's been fantastic.
A couple guys on the IL now.
Yeah,
huh?
it's a bummer, especially Merriweather. But even without him, Dolis has figured it out. Joel Piamps, am I saying that right? Can't believe how many innings he's gotten for them pretty clean. Tim Meza, the lefty specialist, he's been killing it. They're
Tyler Chatwood.
Chat City, baby. Their question is, it's the starting pitching. Man, Ryu is back, so that's good. Robbie
Ray's been good.
Ray. How about this? If you want to check out an interesting stat page, go look at Robbie Ray. You can dice up his numbers to put him with the elite, especially when it comes to strikeouts. And I think he's reunited with an old pitching coach there. And so far, 28.2 innings, a 3.14 ERA.
Wait, Ross Stripling said he was going to hit a Houston Astros batter the next time he faced him. Marley Rivera put that out. He's facing him this weekend. Check that out.
Jake sucks.
Thank you to Trevor, Chris Rose, BBD, Get Better, John Boy. Hey, leave a review. Say Big Box BBD. Chris Rose.
Can everyone go review our podcast? So we want to be number 1 on this one chart.
6 stars.